And this is the decision now that has been taken by the UP government. It has yet again revised the COVID-19 guidelines as far as attendance in weddings is concerned. Only 100 people will be allowed to gather for wedding events. This has been a cap of 100 people per wedding. And for smaller venues, there will be a 50% of maximum capacity that will be allowed. Further, in open spaces, only 40% of the maximum capacity that will be allowed. It's important to note here where certain restrictions had been lifted as far as weddings are concerned here. This is keeping in mind open public gatherings. This is both for open spaces as well as banquet halls indoors. A specification now that has come in from the UP government as far as weddings is concerned. And this is the top wedding season of the year that we're looking at post Diwali, in these intervening few winter months where weddings are maximum held across the country. In Uttar Pradesh similarly as well. This is a decision they're taken by the UP government to make sure that the COVID surge is reined in. We have with us Times Network senior correspondent Amir Haq, who's getting us those details here. Amir, this is important to note. Do we also have a timeline to this for how long this is to follow, or this is going to be kept an eye on per day basis? Many, of course, already having made wedding arrangements will now have to rework that.
In place for the coming 7 days, for at least 1 week till November 30th. Of course, the UP government earlier in its order in October 1st week had relaxed the guidelines for opening up of lockdown, in which around 200 people were allowed to be invited to wedding ceremonies. But now these new guidelines have been put in place certainly because of the surging number of COVID-19 cases. Because while these cases have gone down by over 1/4, earlier we were witnessing around 7,000 to 8,000 patients adding up to the COVID tally every day. These numbers had fallen down to below 2,000 and 1,800. But since Diwali, over the last 1 week, these numbers have definitely seen a surge, with over 6 to 7 of UP districts out of a total of 75. Every surge of COVID-19 positive patients, over 100 such patients. So that clearly has been behind the government's of cutting down on the number of maximum guests that can be invited at wedding ceremonies. And also, such organizers have been asked to keep in mind that even in open spaces, if the number of guests that can be invited there, if the maximum capacity is less than 100, then less than 40% of that capacity should be allowed in open spaces, and less than 50% of such capacity should be allowed in enclosed spaces. Also, children lesser than 10 years of age and senior citizens over 65 years of age have been asked to be kept away from such venues. And definitely anybody who has fever and who has any symptoms resembling those of COVID-19, they definitely will have to be kept away from such a wedding ceremony. So while adequate sanitization facilities have to be arranged by the organizers of the event, the fact that overall sanitization should be taking place, they should practice social distancing, should also wear masks, all of these will have to be ensured by the organizers. Otherwise, there is penalty, as well as the respective district magistrates have been asked to keep a tight control on all such ceremonies, whether the guidelines are being followed there or not. Otherwise, strict kind of action can actually follow up from the side of district authorities.
All right, so there could be a penalty to this as well. Strict action. Amir, very quickly, because you just mentioned this, what could be this strict action taken against those people if no one's really taking this seriously, that a cap on the guests in wedding that needs to be maintained?
Well, the government hasn't in its order hasn't really spelled out, like in the case of Delhi or other places wherein the fine has been escalated from 500 to 2,000. No such fine or penalty has been defined as far as this official order from the UP Chief Secretary is concerned. But yes, much of this has been left to the respective district magistrates by the UP government, because remember, UP is a populous state with 75 districts in all. not all of the districts have been severely affected by COVID-19. So therefore, definitely the districts falling in the NCR area from Noida to Ghaziabad to Meerut, who have seen a surge of COVID cases, to places like Lucknow, Kanpur, Prayagraj, Gorakhpur, Varanasi, which have residents in large numbers and where definitely health authorities have noticed a surge in cases. All these districts will have to be manned properly by the health department authorities, and the district administration has also been asked to keep
All right.
on the lookout, be on the lookout for anybody who violates these norms which have been put forward by the UP government.
Okay. Absolutely. Amir, many thanks for getting us those details here. This is, of course, specifically regarding Uttar Pradesh.